Welcome to a new Lambda class daily for the Ethereum consensus client. I'll go look for the YouTube link. All right, the link is there. And it's shared on Telegram now, so we can start with updates. Martin, do you want to go first?
Sure. So for me, I've been working on different small things. One is I wanted to have the execution client working on the server. So we have that full node working on Sepolia. Not validating yet, but that's the next step. I think we are getting closer and closer. And after that, I worked on some refactors that we have had pending, cleaning up some old code and dividing code a bit. And I'm gonna continue with some refactors on the execution side of things. And yeah, that's what I've been working on.
That's great. Thanks for the update. The next one is Gaston.
Yes, I've been working on the refactor of moving the blob sidecar subscription to its own chain server. I started with only one chain server to handle all the 6 topics as we discussed, and after checking that it's working, I will spawn a task to handle each message. That's are my updates.
That's cool. Just like a quick advice, it might be easier to go with tasks directly because
Okay,
you don't need to have a gen server and tasks. Like you can spin up the tasks directly from the lib2p port gen server. You can wrap that up in a module if you want to, if you don't want to break the abstraction, but it's not necessary to have a gen server and a task. That kind of defeats the purpose of having individual tasks. And it will also
okay,
like
great.
take more time, so you don't have to worry about the gen server. What I do recommend you is to have how is it called? Maybe a dynamic supervisor, which is very simple to spin up, and then you can start tasks using that one. I think that may be the simplest way to do it. But if not, we can find others.
Okay, thank you for the advice.
Of course, I'll send you some links if you need to, and if you don't,
Great.
then good luck. Anyway, thanks for the updates. The next one is Thomas.
Yeah. Yesterday I was mostly working on adding a Docker file to a repo. I managed to make it work. It seems it still needs some work. I saw Martin made a PR adding a shop to run it on to build it on the CI, and it seems to be failing. Yeah. Well, since it's working on my machine, I'm gonna try start integration with Cortosis. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing today.
That sounds like a great plan. On my side, yesterday I found, I had an error basically where when using the local testnet, we were getting some requests for the Beacon API that weren't hitting and they were failing. I manually tried to get the head, for instance, that because I thought that would be the endpoint that was failing. And it was failing, but it wasn't related to the log errors that I was having. So I fixed that issue today, but I was still getting the errors. And then after discussing with Martin, I saw that the logs weren't, so the logs weren't related to get, but were related to a validator that I wasn't closing. So that was my mistake. But basically, yeah, I fixed the issue, and then I just stopped spinning up a validator in the local testnet. And now I'm working on getting the block proposals in the local testnet. What I'm missing now is to have a local snapshot. Mega already added that for the DB version. The only missing strategy is for file startup, which basically means well, we are in local testnet. We need to spin up a new network, a new node from a file. How do we get the snapshot? That shouldn't be so hard because we have a concrete and static list of validators. So we may be able to make the snapshot from there. But I need to do a little bit of research. So I will take care of that.
You mean the deposit snapshot? I already added that for local testnets.
Oh, have you? I saw
Yeah, basically,
yeah.
the deposit tree is empty, basically, because
Oh, that's nice.
the validators are already from Genesis. They didn't pass through the deposit bridge.
Of course, and that actually makes sense. And do we have that as enough? Like, are the validator processes already starting as well for the local testnet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or like you need to add some credentials, public key and private key. The public key needs to be from an existing validator. The private key may be garbage, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds amazing. Have you tested that locally in your machine?
Yes. Actually, no. I I guess it might not be working, but yeah, I didn't try it actually. You can try
We
it.
are, yeah.
Just getting a public key from the configuration and that the Lighthouse script uses.
Yeah.
And with that, you should be able to run a validator.
Mhm.
For the private key, you can use the keystore module if you want to like have the actual private key.
Okay, yeah, I'll check what I can do, but we are way closer than I expected to. So that's great news. Thanks for letting me know. And it's a lot of luck that we actually talked about this on this meeting. Okay, so I'm skipping a couple of steps. I will go directly to testing if this is working locally. I will let you know as soon as I have new info. All right, so that's the updates on my side. Do we have any more comments or questions? All right, then, I guess that's it for today. Thank you all for joining and see you all tomorrow.